Hey, good morning, ladies. Today is Sunday, March 15th, 2020, 35 weeks postpartum. Just an update. So, I don't know what topics are on everyone else's mind, but for me, it's pretty much just coronavirus. Maybe that's because I work in New York City and New York State has the highest number of coronavirus cases right now. And how has the virus been impacting my life? Well, thank God, no one that I know personally has the virus. But no one that I know personally has been tested. There's just not enough testing going on at all. And so the more testing they do, the more people they will find out have the virus. And this is not just in New York, this is countrywide, unfortunately, because sometimes people are asymptomatic or have mild symptoms or think they just have a cold and they don't realize that they could have the virus. And so a lot more testing needs to be done, as scary as it is, so that people can be treated and that we can stop the spread of it. I am so concerned about my baby, as I'm sure anyone watching my videos is concerned about theirs. So far, though, children have seemed to be pretty resilient. I don't know about infants, but children have seemed to be pretty resilient when it's come to this virus. If they do get it, they seem to get over it fairly quickly or not get too sick from it. Doesn't really give me comfort, though, because I don't want her to get it. She is still an infant. I don't know how her immune system compares with, children. Thank God I'm still breastfeeding because, I'm hoping that breast milk will protect her as much as possible if ever she needs protection. Like I said, I do not currently have it as far as I know. I have not been tested. I am not exhibiting the symptoms, which are sore throat, cough, fever, very similar to a cold. You may just think you have a cold. But many people are asymptomatic, which means that they are not showing symptoms at all, which is why the more that they test, the more cases they come up with. The thing is that if you are asymptomatic, you can still spread it. So that's the concern. And children can still spread it, even if they're not too sick, but they're somewhat sick. So that is the concern. If you're walking around with it and you don't know that you have it, you can still spread it. So the biggest problem is lack of testing. Even in New York State, I believe currently the only place where you can really get tested is like a drive-through testing center that they have in New Rochelle, which is the area of New York that has the most cases, and is spreading very rapidly. So there's no way. I don't even know how to get tested if I wanted to get tested. I have had a doctor's appointment scheduled for this coming Tuesday. A few weeks ago, I did a video where I talked about how my blood pressure was doing. So I had a doctor's appointment scheduled to get a physical with my internal medicine doctor. It was my OBGYN who told me about, I knew my blood pressure might still be high given the whole episode with the baby. But it was my OBGYN. It was just like, okay, your pressure's still too high. So I already had that doctor's appointment scheduled anyway. I scheduled this appointment for March 17th. I scheduled it, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago. Definitely a month ago. And Friday, they called me to cancel it and to reschedule for May. They do not want people coming into the office. And what they are doing is video appointments. So they were willing to schedule either a video appointment for the same day that I had my current appointment, March 17th, or both, in-person appointment in May. So I opted to do both because I also suffer from asthma. I usually do not have symptoms. Occasionally I do, but with this virus going around, I am very concerned because people with underlying respiratory conditions tend to not do so well with it, like asthma. So I want to get refills and make sure I'm current and up to date on any medications. The only medications that I usually take are just I have a steroid inhaler and a rescue inhaler. That's really it. But I want to get them as up to date as possible and refill them and have refills, on hand. And I don't know what to do about the blood pressure because you can't check blood pressure on a video. I have my own blood pressure machine. I don't know if I'm supposed to pull that out and take my blood pressure and she'll go by that and just give me meds for it. I don't really know what to do in regards to that, or am I just waiting until May, if this is even over in May. So I did reschedule. I think it's for like May 6th, another appointment. This is crazy, guys. And then what made it worse was when I asked the receptionist, I said, well, okay, you don't want people to come there if they're feeling ill, but it's not even if they're feeling ill because I'm not feeling ill. They just cancel my appointment. Like, don't come here. We're not holding appointments. And so, and that was the doctor's office. And then my doctor is affiliated with New York Presbyterian Hospital, which is where I delivered my daughter. So my internal medicine, my OB, they're both at the same location. Now their doctor's office, their doctor's office is down the street from the hospital. So it's not actually at the hospital, it's down the street from the hospital. But I don't know. So I asked the receptionist, I said, what do you do if you are sick or you want to be tested? Or even if you don't know, you're not feeling sick, but you want to be tested just out of safety reasons. She said, I don't know. Go to hospital or government. Exactly what she said. Go to hospital or government. Which was a weird response because I feel like the doctor's offices should know where to direct people for testing, even if they're not doing the testing at their location. She did say go to the hospital. She said hospital, but go to the hospital. I guess that would be what you would do, is go to the emergency room. But that's the problem, right? Most people don't go to the emergency room for a sore throat, coughing. Now, one thing that may send you to the emergency room with the coronavirus is that it comes with a fever. And I believe it becomes a pretty high fever. And it could. And so that may send you to the emergency room. So I don't even know if all hospitals have tests. It just doesn't seem like there's enough testing. It doesn't seem like there's enough access to tests. But that's what we're dealing with here. Store shelves are very bare. People are having, thank God we use formula. We use breast milk. People are having a hard time getting formula. Mothers who are concerned are buying up lots of formula. Some stores are putting restrictions on it, but it's weird because it's like you want to feed your baby, but are putting restrictions on a number of items you can buy, whether it's cleaning items, cases of water, paper towels, toilet paper, formula, just different things. It's scary. It's really scary because we don't know how long this will last. We don't know if stores will be restocked, as shipping from various items or various places is being halted or slowed down. Restocking may not happen as quickly as we want it to. So we don't know what's going on right now. Some stores have cut their hours so they can sanitize and restock. If you don't have toilet paper, it's very hard to find it. So if you don't have paper towels, it's very hard to find it. If you don't have, you can still find some food. It's not a food desert yet. But there's a lot of items that are out of stock. You cannot find cleaning items really that much. Soap is also limited. So like bleach, please. I don't know where you can find that if you were looking for it, and various other disinfectants. Thankfully, I did a very large food shop 2 weeks ago. It's crazy how much difference 2 weeks makes because, a little over 2 weeks ago, like 2.5 weeks ago. At the time, we weren't really thinking about this outbreak too much, so I did not shop with outbreak in mind. Luckily, I did buy paper towel and toilet paper, but I think if I was shopping with outbreak, pandemic, epidemic the worst thing in the world ending in mind, I would have stocked up. I mean, we have enough for now. We have enough to get us through, I guess. But I can't even say for now because I don't know how long this thing will last, as no one does. They are predicting right now, last I heard, maybe through September. That puts a damper on a lot of things. I know things that aren't really important, but Easter, Mother's Day are coming. My first Mother's Day. Um, my daughter's birthday's in May. I mean, I'm not May. I'm sorry, Mother's Day in May. My daughter's birthday's in July. Um, so pictures. We can't go anywhere. Like Easter bunny photos at the mall. No. You can't do that right about now. Having a photographer take photos, going to a place where they take photos. I mean, are they sanitizing their stuff? Are you comfortable that they're sanitizing their stuff before you go there and you expose yourself and your child to it? So I don't know what to do. Like, I guess we're back to cell phone photos, but not for her first birthday, right? Like, I bought all these pretty dresses. I bought a dress for Easter, Mother's Day, her birthday. I wanted to do this really nice photo shoot for her birthday. I wanted to take her on a trip for her first birthday because we weren't going to have a party. I know none of these are important things in the scheme of life. They're really not. They're really, really not. But I'm just sad that we won't be able to do that. I don't think we'll be able to take a trip because, like, who will be comfortable taking a trip in July? Even if this thing has slowed down. Like, they have TSA workers. They were reporting on news. A TSA worker that's tested positive. Airports are like the germiest places. You got to put your shoes and your personal items in those germy bags, bins that no one ever cleans and sanitizes. Hospitals. Airports are like hospitals. They're just so germy. You're going through. You're encountering people from all over the world. You don't know who they encounter. You don't know where they've been. I'm not ready to expose myself or her to that. Even if it is in July. So I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe things will be different. We do not currently have any airline tickets anywhere, so I guess that's good. But, maybe we'll postpone her birthday until September and pretend. I don't know. I mean, listen, it's not the worst thing in the world. The best thing is to just be together and be healthy and with your family, and that's really what you want, and that's really all that matters. None of this other stuff matters. Really, it doesn't. What else? So how has this impacted daily life for us? Well, we really aren't going anywhere. My job, I just went back to work, right, on February 18th. My job is now authorized working from home, something that they completely were against. My husband's job will also be, they have not done it yet, but what from our understanding is they will also be authorizing working from home. So we will be working from home, for the foreseeable future. Whatever that means is indefinite. So what do we do with the nanny? Well, we are not quarantined, so it's a difference, right? We're self-quarantined or mandatory quarantine. I mean, it hasn't really been any mandatory quarantines, but self-quarantines, we haven't been that. That's usually what people have been exposed or are scared of being exposed. And some cities here that have large amounts of cases are asking people to self-quarantine. But we don't have to quarantine. We are limiting our interactions with other people. We aren't really going outside too much. And for the foreseeable future, as far as the nanny, so working from home when you have an infant is great, but hard because you really need to take care of an infant. So we'll both be working. So for now, we do plan to keep the nanny on. We will talk to her. We will limit her hours somewhat because usually I had her come in at 6:30 in the morning because I leave at 6:30 in the morning to go to work. Or I did. I usually would get to work at like 7:30 and try to leave at 3:30. I am very fortunate that my job has a flex band, so we can come in anytime between 7 a.m. and 10:30. a.m. So I was coming in on like at 7:30 and leaving at 3:30 to try to get back to her as quickly as possible. Um, so yeah, so what do we do with the nanny? I think I'm going to have her come still for a good portion of the day, not at 6:30, but probably around 8:30, and maybe leave at 4:30. During that time, I'll probably work, and then shut it down from there. That's what I'm planning right now. I don't know. This is fluid. This may change. But we had just gotten used to everything, just gotten in a routine. I just got used to getting in a routine and leaving the house and being away from the baby. So listen, small thing. Hasn't even been a month that I've been back to work, but really small thing. And so this is already a new adjustment. So for right now, I'll be working from home. I'll work in a different part of the house. The nanny can hopefully take care of Michaela in a different part of the house. My husband will work in a different part of the house, or I don't know. We'll just plan it. No one expected the end of the world, right? No one expected a pandemic. So we'll just have to play it out. And then if this gets any worse, where they're shutting down jobs completely and shutting down retail and things like that, like they've done in other countries, then we will end the nanny because we won't be working. We'll be home and we can take care of her. We may think about ending her just because we're a little concerned about where she's going, right? We know now where we're not going or where we're going, and we want to reduce our exposure, but we don't want someone coming in the house bringing it into us. So, but at the same time, we don't want to end her because when life gets back to normal, we want to use her again. Like Michaela likes her. She's been, fine so far. Not perfect, but she's been fine. Michaela really likes her, so we don't want to just like, oh, forget it, and then be in a childcare issue when things get back to normal. So we want to use her, but we don't want to like necessarily have her come in all the time as much if we're going to be here. But if the job shut down, if the city shuts down completely, which it has not as of right now, we will probably not have her come. I mean, wouldn't want to come. I would think she wouldn't want to come, right? Like, she'd probably want to be home. She is married. She has a 19-year-old child. Well, not really a child, but listen, she probably won't want to come either. She probably want to stay in. I don't know. Everything is I don't know right now. Lots of questions, not so many answers. But we're thinking that right now we'll continue to have her come just so we can see how this working from home thing plays out and have her here with Michaela. Her day will be shorter than it was when we were going out because we won't be commuting. And we'll go from there. And so, yeah, I'm thinking that'll be what we do. And then we may need to change it later. But when life gets back to normal, and one day it will, we would like to use her. I mean, unless it's years from now, Michaela is ready for preschool, but I don't think that'll be the case. So we would still like to use her, and so we don't want to completely end the relationship. We just need to, and also Michaela's used to her, so we don't want to pull her away completely. Then make her feel like, when she comes back, Michaela's like, who are you? So we're just trying to figure out a plan. But everything's up in the air right now, guys. Who expected this? And what's funny? Every 100 years, there is a epidemic, pandemic. It's crazy. They should have actually known that something like this was coming. The last one, I believe, was the flu from 1918 to 1920. Then before, there was one in 1720, 1620, 1520. Look it up. It's actually a real thing. So this is not our first rodeo, but we have acted as if it is. This country is completely unprepared. They should not have been. I know maybe they didn't know the coronavirus was coming, but they should have, because China, Italy, other countries, and we still aren't taking aggressive measures. We still aren't. We need to test. We need to test We need to isolate, or social distancing is what they're calling. We just need to do it until we can get this under control. I know that sounds harsh. I know people might not understand, but things are crazy. And I don't know how they are where you live, but things are crazy. So when it gets crazy where you are, you'll understand. But if you have not stocked up yet, let me give you some advice. Stock up. Don't forget baby stuff. Don't forget diapers. Don't forget wipes. Don't forget baby food. If your baby's on baby food, don't forget formula. Everything you need for baby, everything you need for yourself. Don't, in your family. Don't, if you can get bleach, if you can get disinfectant, if you can get rubber gloves, if you can get paper towel, if you can get toilet paper. People think the paper towel and toilet paper thing is crazy. It's actually not. You know, these are essentials that you're going to need. We don't know how long this is going to go on. We don't know how long shelves will remain empty, whether they will restock. Get what you need to get. Don't let people making fun of people buying toilet paper. Don't be crazy out there fighting over toilet paper, though. But get what you can get and, pray and stay safe. Wash your hands. Don't take this stuff lightly. Disinfect. Buy Lysol if you can. Spray things. That's all we can do because there's really no testing. And honestly, there's no treatment. There's no medication for this. So it's not like, oh, you go to the hospital, they're going to give you meds. There's no medication. There's no treatment. They're putting people on respirators when they're really near the end stages of this. That's not what you want. So, all they can do is treat certain symptoms. So maybe you can take Tylenol or something to bring down a fever. I don't know. But there's no treatment for this actual virus right now. Maybe all they can do right now is just treat the symptoms. And your body has to ride it out. So stay as safe as you can. I will update, next week. Things are changing rapidly here. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.